All right, so for this mentor text lesson, right, you're going to content. I will, of course, post it on the main page like I do with our assignments. But today we're on this mentor text lesson, right? Feel free to go back and do any of the work, any of these 21 assignments, right, or activities. You should have already watched Carrie Ellie's story and Brandon's last class, hopefully. So you've noticed that Carrie Ellie's story was told like a documentary, right? They gave you some visuals of her life at South Brooklyn and a narration of her story over that. Brandon's last class was actually his assignment for my class, for his last English class here at South Brooklyn, and I let him write it as a rhyme. Um, Interesting fact about Brandon is that his first album is about to drop any minute now. Last I heard, the songs were fantastic and they're almost all done. So he is making a career out of that work that he did. And I love that he got started here. So there's two last things you're going to do. This assignment you'll do, and if you're, here with me, this is how to write on a view-only Google Doc. I'm going to show you this lesson, but it's a 30-second video I made. You'll take the link, open it up, and I do not know yet how to have Google make its own assignment for you. It just doesn't work. So what you'll do is you'll go up to File, and you'll make a copy. And when you go to make a copy of it, you can type your name there, and you can go to share it with the same people, and that way it'll come straight back to me. You won't have to worry, and you will get your copy of it. All right? So here's your job, right? We're going to read and annotate this essay, and I'm going to actually model this for you. So I'm going to do it right in front of you. Your job is just to watch, and you can do it along with me on your own screen with your own text as you wish. This was written by a former student to the prompt, what brought you to South Brooklyn, right? That's different than the prompts you guys are writing to, but also similar, because if you remember, right, if we go back and take a look at that pre-writing assignment that we did last week, the pre-writing assignment is showing us what the topics are for this. So the topics for our essay this time, this is our project, right, is the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you? What did you learn? Well, you can see that the question, how did you get to South Brooklyn, is sort of implicitly holding this, because everybody who arrived at South Brooklyn did so because they had either a challenge, a setback, or a failure, right, that led them to us. We're a school where we do second chances. So assuming that the student is writing to this prompt, let's read it. And we're looking for a theme and then any literary devices that we notice, right? The how. All right. This is called Right My Wrongs, and they called themselves Tiny Teen. I actually forgot who this is. I think I remember, but I forgot because I don't even know what year this was written in. And I've been teaching at this school for 18 years, giving the same assignments. So it's a good piece. Every story is based on decisions. My story has plenty of bad decisions. It started with one, and before I knew it, I was surrounded by negativity. School should have been my priority, but I neglected it. I thought school was cruel. In reality, my mindset was making me a fool. All right, so I already think I see a theme here, and I like it because there's kind of like a rhyme here. I like the rhyme. It sounds good. And it points to a theme, right? So I'm expecting her to talk about how, the way she was thinking was what got in the way. All right. Elementary school was an honor roll breeze full of awards and ribbons. Being the baby girl of a family put a spotlight on me. It didn't help that my older brother had very lazy tendencies and never failed to show his hate for anything remotely academic. Middle school brought adolescent changes. The first class I cut was gym class. My gym teachers had wandering eyes, grabby hands, and a knack for yelling. Okay, I love that language. It's a disturbing image, but it's really told well. So I like the description. And it really shows you, right? When it says wandering eyes and grabby hands, I feel like these are kind of lecherous. teachers. I can't even spell lecherous. It's a good word if you don't know it. Yeah, who cares? Spelling actually doesn't matter that much, just so you know. Plus, I never favored athletics, especially when it was in a room full of hormonal competitive swarms of kids. My friend at the time, Michelle, asked me to come to the nurse with her after lunch, the period I was supposed to have gym class. I have to come to the nurse. Come with me real quick. Okay. What do you have to go for, though? The nurse has to check my blood pressure. So annoying. I didn't reject her, mostly because she was pregnant, also because she had this amazing pink hair. I never imagined I would have a pregnant friend in the 7th grade, nor did I imagine that after the nurse taking only 5 minutes. I don't even want to go to gym, Michelle whined. That's how I feel every day, I laughed. We should just not go. What if we get caught? I hope my voice didn't give any hesitation away. I didn't want to seem like a wimp. We'll just lie. Plus, I never get in trouble. They take it easy on me because I'm pregnant. I'll just say you were helping me. All right. I was just wondering, where are we going to, where are we going to go? All right. And what I notice here is that they use dialogue, right? And dialogue is so cool. It really paints a picture, and I get an image. So using dialogue. Now, did she actually remember word for word this conversation from 7th grade? She wrote this when she was in a transfer school. That was years and years later. Probably not, but it's close enough, right? And so she she's adding it, and it really gives you a sense of the characters, and it gives you a sense of why she chose to cut. All right. We wandered the hall and sat in the staircase for a bit. Then we heard the dean of the school headed our way. Michelle and I had to duck into the girls' bathroom where she entertained me with wild stories of her life, such as the boys she'd encountered, her baby's father, and her family's parties. She also filled my head with tattoo ideas and what color hair she wanted to try next. You have pretty eyes. How come you don't wear eyeliner? It'll make them pop. I felt a little silly because she was privileged to wear makeup, and I knew I didn't have permission to. I never really cared for it, I lied. Okay, so I love this bit here because in this little tiny bit, she's telling me that she's got a stricter family than her friend Michelle. But she's not saying it directly, right? She's not saying my family's strict. She's giving a hint about that, and I like that. You should let me do your makeup. I shrugged, racking my brain for a new topic. It didn't work, so I caved in. While she chattered, entertaining me further, she applied a sparkly champagne-colored eyeshadow, eyeliner, and mascara to my face. I felt pretty, powerful, and older. In the back of my mind, I knew when it was time to go home, I would be using the bathroom's stale paper towels to scrub off the makeup I wasn't old enough to wear. As I got to know her better, I found myself yearning for the type of freedom Michelle had. It became a regular routine for us to cut. Soon it wasn't only gym, but I enjoyed her company, and the classes we cut never crossed my consciousness. All right, so she really talks about what she was looking for here, right? That she doesn't have. She wants this freedom. She's got these parents that are strict. Michelle and cutting is freedom to her. So I'm seeing a theme of freedom through rebellion. Interesting. I like it. High school. As from the words of Kanye, nothing's ever promised tomorrow today. I dreamed of honor roll, lined up extracurriculars, and colleges begging me to attend their school. None of the above happened. Instead, I often found myself itching to leave school often. Class felt unimportant to me, and I felt I didn't need it. I felt it sucked my positive energy out of my soul. I anxiously stressed time. My time needed to be occupied, and it felt like I was wasting it. I desperately needed to be happy. I calculated every second, minute, and hour from the moment I opened my eyes in the morning. Opening my eyes in the morning became rare because the anxiety with time got so bad I would be up all night. I would walk into school and envision the whole day fast forwarded in hours so I could walk out. But I've never been a patient person, so it came to sneaking out. I didn't see teachers as they grilled me throughout the day. I didn't hear their nasty comments. I tried to reason with myself sometimes. Study more. You've studied, but not hard enough. They just don't see you trying. Ask for help. It's not your fault you're tired. Ask for help. Okay, here's another technique that I see her using. This is really cool. She narrates her inner dialogue, that inner stuff when we talk to ourselves. I love that she's putting this in here so we can see it. Eventually, the amount of effort teachers put into helping me became the amount of effort I put into school itself. I sat in one or two classes until my adrenaline started to slowly rush. My friends would then say the magic words, "Hey, we out." Then I would see my hands pushing the double doors in the back of the staircase, and my friends and I and the time would spill out onto the concrete. We had the day for how we chose to spend it. We always did have fun and feel free. I remember one time it actually clicked in my head that I had no idea how I was going to graduate. My friends and I had cut school. One of them had suggested the movies. It was a cheap ticket, and my boyfriend at the time suggested the theater. It was cold out that day, and I had on his sweater. They said it made me look fat. I was used to little insults like that. During the movie, they made dirty jokes and complained. I started drifting off, wondering what was happening in global class. Okay, that's interesting. While you're cutting school, having fun with your friends, you're thinking about global class? That's interesting. I liked my seat in that class. It was at a table with kids who made me laugh and always had some type of candy or gum. I wanted to start going to school again, to do better. But no matter how many times I told myself, tomorrow will be different, it never was. Oh, I know that feeling. And she's really setting us up for a turning point, right? You can just feel it's coming, and I can see that we're almost done. So here's where something's going to change. I decided to come to South Brooklyn Community High School to escape the shitty halls of my old school, the teachers' faces that didn't care about me graduating or not, who saw me as just another dropout but never helped me. An escape from the constant reminder my attendance was below average. An escape from the faces that encouraged me to fail. An escape from the constant reminder that I was lacking credits to graduate on time. Teachers reminded me, my mother reminded me, and my own mind. It crossed the line when people started comparing me to my deadbeat brother. I was still the spotlight child, still. So most importantly, I came to South Brooklyn to reach my full potential and graduate. And I hope you're noticing that she's using this same technique that Steph did in her graduation speech, right? Remember what it's called, anyone? So she's using, it's either called repetition or parallel structure. Depends on exactly how it's being done, but she's kind of doing both here. And it's a way to emphasize, right? Steph Guida did it, and now this student is doing it. Teachers reminded me, my mother reminded me, and my own mind. Now, I would even add reminded me here to make that stronger, but there's another example of repetition. I'm going to color code it different. More repetition. It crossed the line when people started comparing me to my deadbeat brother. For someone that's experienced a lot of wrongs and a few rights, I do have dreams and aspirations. Every day I battle with myself to maintain positive change. It'll be worth it when my hands aren't pushing open double doors to skip school, but holding a high school diploma and college ready. All right. And now these questions are here just so I can check that I did this, but you can also just answer them. I see the theme of wanting freedom from strict led to rebellion. And then that further rebellion, right? So eventually, so I guess we could be saying that sometimes we need to rebel against strict authority figures and find our own inner motivation. And that's what I've always seen here at South Brooklyn is that, South Brooklyn students really, they just need to be able to make their own choices. And it's not like they did anything wrong, right? But a theme is always, what is the piece saying about that? And I think what she's saying is that sometimes we have to rebel against our strict authority figures, right? Like she didn't really tell us much about her family, but we knew that she wasn't allowed to wear makeup and that was something, a big deal with her friend in 7th grade. And that sort of started her off on cutting school and not doing All right, she used a lot description. And look at how Google does it for you. Do you understand that when I was in high school, I had to actually type out every word and spell it correctly? Like, you guys have so much easier. Just please, please use all your tools. She used descriptive language. She used dialogue. And she used repetition and parallelism. Beautiful. And then this is really up to you. Now, I found it engaging. I liked the dialogue and language use. I found it interesting. But you could absolutely say that you didn't find it engaging and you thought it was super boring, and just tell me why, and that's fine too, right? When you're finished with that, you just go up and make sure that it's shared with me. It could be either of my, and it's mysbchs.org, sbchs.org, right? So use either of my email addresses, this one or whatever, and then you've sent it in. And then when you come back to your work here, you're done, right? And you don't even have to submit anything if you already submitted it. Or you can record your thoughts verbally this way, right? And then the last thing is discussion, but it doesn't look like it's showing up. So let me work on that. You may also participate in that discussion by talking to me right now if you're still there. And that's all I expect today.